Hello student, in today's lecture we will learn Unit 1 Introduction to Unix or Linux kernel. So this is the history of the Unix operating system. In 1965, AT&T Bell Lab and General Electric Company and the Project Mac of MIT developed the Multics. Then Ken Thompson and Dennis Ritchie developed the Unix. In 1971, Unix was tried on more powerful machine PDP-1. In 1972, Dennis Ritchie developed the C language. 1977, it was the first ported, that is the installed on non-PDP machine called Interdata 8x32. In 1982, AT&T itself created the Unix System 3 for commercial purpose and the Unix System 4 only for its internal use. In the January 1983, the Unix System 5 last version was developed. Due to the availability of the source code, University California developed their own Unix standard for the VAX machine, and which was called as Unix 4.3 BSD. Now there is one question that why Unix is so popular. The first reason is that it is very easy to read, easy to understand, easy to move to the other machine. That is, it is easy to portable. Then it has easy user interface. Then we can develop the complex program with help of the simple programs. It uses the hierarchical file system and which is easy to maintain and implement. Now, what is the hierarchical? That means there is a root folder. After that, there will be the different directories, and in that directories, subdirectories will be there, and in the subdirectories, files will be there. Then in Unix, everything storable is a file. Means device, terminals, even directories are also files. Unix considers file as a stream of a byte. Thus, the system programming becomes very easy. Then it is a multi-user, multitasking and multi-threading operating system. Multi-user means what? Many processes can run at a time here. Then multitasking, multiple programs can be reside in a main memory. That means multiple tasks can be executed concurrently. Then multi-threading means what? Multiple threads can run concurrently. Then it hides the hardware, that is machine architecture, from the programmer and the end user. Then, though the system was written in a C, it provides the environmental support to the other languages like BASIC, Fortran, Pascal, Da, COBOL, Lisp, Prolog, C++ and Java. This is the basic architecture of the Unix system. This is the layered architecture. So first layer is the hardware layer. On the top of that, kernel is there. Now this is the system program, which is the main program. It is nothing but the heart of the OS, and without that your operating system can't run. On the top of that, different system commands are there, like a who command, a.out, date, wc, grep, id, vi, ld, as, com, cpp. So all these are the commands. On the top of that, other application programs are there and CC compiler is there. So the interaction of the application program with the kernel is done by the set of the functions known as system call. Means here application program and kernel communicate with each other through the system call. In the Unix system release 5, there are such 64 system calls, and out of which 32 system calls are used much frequently. Now next point is the features. So these are the three high level features of the Unix system. First one is the file system. Second is the process environment, and third is the building block primitive. So let's see one by one. First is the file system. So this is the sample file system tree. As I told, it is a hierarchical structure. So this one indicates, slash indicates the root directory. After that, these are the directories. Then these are the files. date.c, who.c are the files. Password, this is also one directory. So basically there are two types of paths for a file, absolute path and relative path. So for example, absolute path for the date.c will be start from the root. So slash, then user, then src, then cmd and date.c. So this is the absolute path for the date.c. And now next one is the relative path. So relative path will be start from the present directory, present working directory. So suppose CMD is the present working directory, then the relative path for the date.c will be CMD slash date.c. So absolute path always start from the root, whereas relative path will be start from the present working directory. Now the characteristics of the file system. So it is the hierarchical, that is the tree-like structure. Then consistent treatment to file data, that is all files are nothing but the stream of the bytes. Then there is the ability to create the new and to delete the old file. Then there is a dynamic growth of a file, and the protection of the file data is there with help of the access permissions. Then different peripheral devices and directories are also considered as the files. So files in the Unix are unformatted stream of the bytes, and the system treats them with the same system called assessments. That means if we use the copy command, so copy command will be used with each and every file, whether it is the regular file, whether it is the directory file or device file. All the system calls will be used with all type of the files. Now, second feature is the processing environment. So here we know that program is nothing but the executable file. Okay, and a process is an instance of the program in the execution. So when our program is in an active mode, that is when our program is running, at that time it is called as a process. So many processes can execute the simultaneously on the Unix system with the no logical limit to their number, and many instances of a program can exist simultaneously in the system. There are four major system calls for the process management, that is fork, exec, wait and exit. Now what is the system call? So these are the functions written in the operating system, or the code will be written by the operating system, and if we want we can call them. Okay, now first is the fork. Fork is used to create the new process. So if user want to create the new process, we can call the fork system call. Okay, now second is the exec. It is used to execute the new process. Okay, so when we create the new process with help of fork system call, to execute that process we use the exec system call. Okay, now wait is used to allow the old process to wait for the completion of the execution of the new process. We know that there is a limit on the memory. So if a new process is executed, at that time the old process should wait, and for that purpose wait system call is used. Then exit system call is used for exiting the program, that is terminate the program. So when exec execute a child process, the child process overlaps the address space of the parent process. That means it uses the memory or address of the parent process, and thus there remains no memory for the parent process to run, and thus the parent process must wait for the completion of the execution of child. Thank you.